Warning: this story contains anti-Semitic images and dialogue. Last year, the Executive Council of Australian Jewry reported that anti-Semitic incidents in Australia rose at an unprecedented 59%. Research Director Julie Nathan explained her findings.
It was a surprise because each of the previous 2 years had seen a 10% increase. So when last year saw a 59% increase, that was of great concern. A lot of it was due to some far-right activity, neo-Nazi activity, which has been on the increase over the last couple of years.
While the number of anti-Semitic incidents is on the rise, the online anti-Semitic discourse has also erupted on social medias like Facebook and Twitter.
It's a bottomless pit of what's out there, and it's really hard to quantify what's going on, but from what I can see looking for anti-Semitism by Australians online, yes, there is an increase.
Lara Rebecca Schilling, a Jewish university student, explained how her online anti-Semitic experiences ruined a friendship.
I see a lot of anti-Semitism on Facebook. Some of it's casual, some of it's just blatant anti-Semitism. Someone we considered a family friend recently started posting news on Facebook that was very anti-Semitic in nature, and it was all in Polish. So there has been a lot of anti-Semitism coming out of Poland as well, and it's reaching us here, obviously.
Joshua Kirsch, the Political Affairs Director at the Australian Union of Jewish Students, gave insight on what was happening in social media.
People are becoming radicalised in their anti-Semitic views, and it's happening on the right and on the left. It's really unfortunate when we see, people who might have a casual interest in sort of libertarian or conservative politics, being pushed by YouTube's algorithms, by Facebook's algorithms towards extreme content that often involves hatred of Jews. It involves all kinds of awful stuff. And then on the left, where students might be drawn to the more progressive side of politics, we're seeing anti-Israel discourse being inflamed, being, distorted.
And it's worse when people post screenshots of people abusing them and anti-Semitic stuff, in retaliation, and that stuff gets removed, but the original content doesn't. So that's why they need to take responsibility and have more moderators actually going through that.
Facebook and Twitter and those kind of platforms need to spend a bit more time policing their code of conduct instead of ignoring when marginalised people come to them with concerns.
Online anti-Semitic discourse has not only seen an increase in hatred and insults towards Jews, but also conspiracy theories.
Well, conspiracy theorists, for a start, have a different worldview to most people. I have been following this whole white replacement idea, this conspiracy theory, and this is the ideology that does kill, right? So, for example, in Pittsburgh Synagogue, October last year, Robert Bowers went in and he killed 11 Jews, right? He believed Jews were bringing in non-whites into America to replace white America. This is their own kind of paranoid fantasy, and also a way that they can will blame the Jews and to increase anti-Semitism.
While some people argue that anti-Semitic discourse is free speech and others call it hate speech, Professor Simon Rice explains that it's not so black and white.
Nobody who promotes free speech really believes in absolute, unrestrained, say what you like, whenever you like, free speech. Everybody's going to accept some limit. And the classic example is you're not free to yell fire in a crowded theatre if there isn't one. You cause panic. You've got to exercise some social responsibility. So the free speech, hate speech line, the question is, where do you draw the line?
For Joshua Kirsch, the most important thing to do is to take action against any anti-Semitism that arises.
We can't have any kind of tolerance for people who refuse to learn the lesson that anti-Semitism is wrong. Far-right and neo-Nazi groups are trying to worm their way in. They're trying to find gain and purchase. And it's scary because Jewish students know who the ultimate target of that kind of stuff is.